Hi, this is Stormin' Norman, the fire-breathing Mormon. I'm going to take some vegetables and show you how to do salsa with the garden vegetables that have come out of the garden. Anyway, one thing that's quite important is to have a salsa maker, and it makes a big difference in your salsa. You've got a bowl, it's got a grinder, and then it has a top that goes on the grinder. So what you want to do to start with is you want to grind your heavier vegetables first. Take a piece of white onion or any color onion you want, cut it, maybe a half of an onion, about like so, and then you take some green onions. Now these green onions add a lot of flavor to salsa, so I like to usually take a little bunch of green onions and put them also in there. Cut off the whiskers and put some green onions in there. So you got your onions. Then after the onions are in, then I take some garlic, a good teaspoon of garlic. It's good for your heart. And put that in. And then anything that's kind of hard to mix up, you always do that first. A lot of people like a little bit of cilantro, and so I put a little bit in. If you don't put that in first and get it grind up, you put it in last, it won't emulsify very well. So we got onions, we got garlic, we got our cilantro. Next thing we want to do that makes it really good is a green pepper. And so I like a lot of green pepper in mine. You can do whatever you want, but I usually put a full green pepper or 3/4 of a green pepper. Then you put this on top and cinch it down. Make sure the rubber is sucked onto the table. When you take and turn it. Now this, every time I make a revolution, the spinner goes 4 times as fast as my turn here. So you want to get this kind of ground up. If you take it too much, you get it too fine. Depends on what you want. Then I'll take that off. I'll check it. And I have some good-sized chunks in there for the salsa. Okay, now what I want to do next is I want to take and I want to start adding some, I use some of this La Victoria salsa. This is the hot stuff. You want to be careful you don't put too much in it. Try not to get it on your fingers. It's pretty good though. Okay, these jalapenos are pretty hot. This comes out of the garden. The thing that makes them hot is the seeds in them, so you want to be a little bit careful. So I open them up, and if I see a lot of seeds in them, I'll take a few out, and then I'll leave a few in. And then, after that's in, now I'll take me a lime, and limes are quite important in salsa, and I'll stick it in this juicer right here, and I'll put some lime in. Sometimes a half a lime is good. You don't want to get too much. It just tastes too limey. And then after that goes in, you want to have some lemon. So lime and lemon really bring out the taste of your salsa. And you want to be careful you don't get too much. Little bit's good. And then once that's in, now you can get you some Roma tomatoes. These are kind of small, or you can just any kind of tomato. It doesn't matter what kind. The Roma tomatoes have a lot more meat on them. They're not quite as juicy. I use both kinds. It just depends on what you want. Now these are small enough. I can put them in my bucket there, And you don't want to get too many in there, but you want to have enough that you can start. And then make sure you cinch down again. Then I'll just grind them in like so. And then I think I want to put a little bit more juice. This is pretty heavy, so I'll put a juicy tomato in. Got a little bit of juice in it. And you can put as many tomatoes as you want. You know, 5 or 6 tomatoes is pretty good. You want to get enough so it goes quite a ways. Okay, I'll grind that up. Then what you want to do is you want to put you some garlic salt, and then regular kosher salt. Has to have salt. Salt's what brings the flavor out, maybe a good teaspoon or so. And then I like to grind up a little pepper in it. And I think I'll add a little bit more tomato. It's pretty heavy, so I want to get a little more juice. Okay. So we'll mix that like so. But this mixer is so important in doing your salsa. It doesn't emulsify it. You can get it as thick or as thin as you want there. And then I want to put probably a few more tomatoes in there. Oh, another thing that I usually add is a tamalio. This gives it a little bit of a lime taste, and that goes pretty good in there. And we'll grind that in there. Hand me those chips over there and we'll give it a sample. It doesn't take long. You get this, you can make a batch pretty easy. And sometimes you've got to take and sample it a little bit to make sure you got the taste you want. So we'll dip it in there and it's quite hot. Okay, now if it's too hot, and that's what I got, I'll add more tomatoes to it. So what I'll do is I'll take this out and I'll dump some more in a bowl, and then I'll do some more tomatoes.
Here, let me get you this thing, buddy.
So I'm going to add a few more tomatoes in here. I put a little bit too much hot sauce in it. You'll have to be a little careful with that. And sometimes if I get it too hot where I can't get it calmed down, I'll get a colander, and I'll dump it in a colander and let the juices flow into the sink. Colander's a bowl that's got little holes in it, okay? And I've done that before if I thought it was too hot. Then I'll do another tomato. Sometimes you put more tomatoes, you need to add a little bit more salt to it. So I'll add a little salt. Everything that I'm putting in here has been washed. Okay. Oh, it's fun. And I'll dump it in there. I mean pour. Pour's a better word than dump. You know, dump doesn't sound very good. Then I'll take this and put it in. And then I'll take a spoon and I'll mix it up really well so that the two combine together. Makes a nice sauce for your chips. Okay, then you want to sample it again. So So you break a piece of, never double dip. That's not very nice to do. Just do one dip and eat it and then go for the next chip. That is really good. That's a lot better. I had the more tomatoes to knock the hotness down. So you want to do a few batches, you know, you got to experiment a little bit. But that's just about right. It gives a little bit of tang on my tongue, and it's good for you. So anyway, hope you all enjoy making salsa while my little lady and I are over in the Philippines. One thing that makes salsa really good is to have the right equipment. I use the Kitchen King Pro, and it has been given to one person in Letty's family and one person into my family. So you can pass this King Pro around to each member and you can use it. Or you can designate one person, one family to make it all the time if you want. But anyway, this is really quite an important piece of equipment. The Kitchen King Pro. In review, we use an onion and a pepper. A pepper. Okay, there's a pepper. And some cilantro and some little green onions. And then you can put some garlic in it. This is the Christopher Ranch garlic, and I like this garlic because it really has a garlic taste. You buy that stuff that's in a seed-like, and it doesn't emulsify very good in your salsa. We go through a jar of this easy every year or more. But this is kind of a good thing you need to have. It makes your salsa. So a good heavy teaspoon or tablespoon of Christopher garlic. It makes it really good. Okay, and like I said before, it's good for you. And then, as you're doing that, mixing it up, you want to put Roma tomatoes. They have a lot of meat in them. They're thick. Then you might want to add a juicy tomato with it. Gives it a little bit of juice. And then remember that maybe a half a lime, a good juicy lime, and a half of a lemon mixed in with it. You just about have to have that. And then you can start adding some of your other things. This jalapeno, they're pretty hot, so you got to be a little bit careful. And you cut them out, pull a few seeds out, and dump it in. If you pull all the seeds out, they're not hot. And then you can put some ground pepper. That makes it good. The older you get, the more you need the pepper for your tongue. It makes the food taste better. Garlic salt's quite important. Brings the flavor out good. And then you can pick your hot sauce. You can use red. This is red hot. This is hot stuff. And also you can buy it in medium. So it just depends on your taste. You got medium and hot. And then this salt seems to be good, this Morton kosher salt. And that works out pretty good. This is very handy to squeeze the lemons and the limes. And I mentioned before the cilantro. Make sure when you put that in first so that it grinds up good. Because you don't do that, that stuff won't grind up. And then what you want to do is, like you say, add your tomatoes. And then you want to start sampling your salsa. If you feel like you need more tomatoes in it, do it. If you need a little bit more lime, you can do that. But it's all kind of, you got to kind of taste it. Each batch seems to be a little bit different, you know. You try to make it the same as a good batch, but sometimes you get a little bit too hot. So there's nothing really scientific about it. You just got to use the right ingredients and the right proportions. But we're very lucky because we have grocery stores that handle this year-round. So we make salsa all year round. But it's a lot better when in the summertime when we have the good gardens. So I encourage you all to grow a garden. And anyway, get you a good bag of chips. And it's good healthy food. And anyway, it's a true food, just like a true church. Okay. Amen.
napkin?
Yes.
Time out, we gotta get a napkin. Okay, I might need a couple before I through.
Mormon salsa is a treat. Grab a box of chips or a sack of chips and start to eat.